This is my new Yamaha motor. It's kind of low tech. It doesn't come with a tachometer. It doesn't have a meter to tell you how many hours it's in operation. Like I said, it's low tech. I don't have any gauges up here on my console. So I'm installing this TinyTach, and that's what people call them. It's a tachometer and it's an hour meter, and it works through induction. So this wire, I ran it through here. This is a rubber grommet. It comes off and on real easy, and this whole inside of this motor should always be sealed. They're not perfectly sealed, but they're very close to it. And so I poked a hole in that and dragged the wire through there. I didn't drill a hole. That wire's in there really, really tight because I want a good seal. This wire, I ran it down through here, away from any moving parts and anything that gets hot. And the excess wire is bundled up here with a little zip cord. This device works through induction. So this end of the wire either gets wrapped around one of the spark plug wires, or it gets wrapped around the top of this ignition coil. So this is a 4-stroke with 2 cylinders. For 4 strokes, they advise that you wrap it around this part of the ignition coil. I was able to wrap it around there twice, and then I secured it with this tiny little zip tie that came with the kit. And so I'm going to test it. I'm going to see if it's reading the right number of RPMs. If it isn't working, I might try wrapping it over here around this spark plug wire. And that's going to give me my RPMs. It's a good reason we do this. And I'll tell you what it is now. So this is where I'm going to stick that. You want to clean this really good. No moisture, no grease. I'm using non-acetone nail polish remover, which is a very useful household substance for cleaning all nature of things. This is not an exception. This piece of Velcro came like this with a backing, and it already had a hole for putting the battery off and on. And I'm just going to line it up real nice. Get it on there good. Pull the backing off and stick it sort of in the middle there. Now, this is important. During the break-in, you're only allowed during the first hour to run it up to about 2,000 RPMs, and you're not supposed to hold it there for an extended period of time. 1 hour of stop and go below 2,000 RPMs. After that, for the next hour, you can rev it up to 3/4. Stop and go. And then for a full 10 hours, you're not supposed to, you can go to full RPMs, top speed, but you're not supposed to maintain that speed or those RPMs for more than 5 minutes at a time. This is getting broken in. At the end of 10 hours, it needs to be serviced. They need to change the oil in the motor and in the lower end. During that break-in period, little tiny bits of metal gets into your oil, and you want to get rid of that, and that won't be the case afterwards. This needs to be programmed. First of all, it needs to be programmed to work with this motor. The instructions are pretty simple, but you want to take your time and read them. It's different for each type of motor. If you have a 4-stroke motor with 2 cylinders or a 2-stroke with 1 cylinder, there's one setting. If you have a 4-stroke with 4 cylinders or a 2-stroke with 2 cylinders, there's another setting. And for this motor, I have 2 cylinders and it's 4-stroke. There's also another setting for a 4-stroke with 1 cylinder. At any rate, it's really, really simple. You need to program it right here. It gives you instructions how to do it. And you also can program this so that it'll give you a warning when you reach 100 hours of service. At 100 hours of service, it needs to be serviced again. Oil change on the top and the bottom. And it's just good to know how many hours of service are on any motor when it's new. If you buy it used, or if you ever go to sell it, you want to be able to say, well, I only have 250 hours on this motor. Or you need to be able to say, yeah, I've got about 1,000 hours on this motor. It makes a big difference in the value. Anyhow, when I get it out on the water to do the break-in, we'll also see how this guy is working right here. I'll demonstrate that on a video as well as the break-in process. And eventually we'll be doing a video testing it for speed at maximum RPMs. I think I'm going to be able to get more than 25 miles an hour on this boat. And if not, I'll get something close to that. And that's probably as much or more than I ever need. This is a TinyTach tachometer and hour meter. I got it for $14 on Amazon. And right up here you'll see that I've printed the model and the make. Let me know if you have any questions.